Hey everyone, it's Michelle. Welcome back to the channel. My channel is called Shells, Bits, and Pieces, where you'll find a little bit of everything all in one place. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, December 1st, and it's my last day, weekday, before I go back to work. I'm going back to work on Monday, so I figured I better get some content taken care of before I have to go back to the grind of a 9 to 5 or a 7:30 to 5:30 job. So anyway, here I am today, and we're going to do some gift tags, but the twist behind these gift tags is I'm using supplies that I have thrifted from the Goodwill outlets. There's going to be a few supplies that I didn't necessarily get at the outlets, but for the most part, I did find these supplies at the outlets. So let's just jump right in. Today, yeah, we all know it's today. I'm not really feeling great today, guys. I don't think it has anything to do with my surgery. I think it's just, the weather, and it's December now. Winter is kind of officially here, although the first day of winter is not really until 3 weeks from now. But you know what? It's winter. It's cold outside. It was a little overcast. Now the sun's kind of out, but it's still cold. I think it's in the 20s out there right now. So I'm inside where it's nice and warm. So let's just get started. So the supplies that I'm going to use today that were thrifted are napkins, and I found this a few weeks ago at the outlets, of course, and I did showcase these in 1 or 2 hauls last week. I feel like these items were in separate hauls. I can't remember. I tried to look back, but my patience is very thin today, so I didn't really pay too much attention. But I had found this gold foil cardstock, brand new in the package, so I did open it and I did play around with it a little bit. And then I had found these really pretty gold and cream Christmas tree napkins that I thought would be a really cute idea as well. So what we're going to make today, as I said, are paper napkin gift tags. And if you can, let's see if I can get this to autofocus. My autofocus, for some reason, I don't know if it's just because, there we go. If it's because of the way the lighting is or this shiny border, I don't know. But anyway, these are images. All of these images, except for this red, are from these napkins. Pretty neat, huh? I got a couple of different designs off of one napkin, and we're going to showcase some other napkins that I have as well. So let's just get started. I'll show you what I did. So the first thing that you're going to need for this project, and I guess I could kind of go over the project list. You're going to need some cardstock. You're going to need some paper napkins. And if you don't have foil cardstock, don't worry. You can use whatever you have. I just happened to have the foil and I thought it looked really pretty, and I wanted to start using up some of the stuff that I found. So that's why I have foil today, but you can use any cardstock that you choose. You're gonna need some glue. You're going to need some Mod Podge, and then any embellishments that you like. And I'll kind of go through a few of the embellishments that I have today, but you could certainly, use whatever you have. Don't feel like you have to run out and go buy what I have here, because this stuff is thrifted for the most part. And yeah, so I'm just using what I have today too. So to get started, the first thing that you're going to want to do is take a piece of cardstock and a piece of napkin and Mod Podge your napkin to the cardstock. And I do have a couple that I've cut up. I guess what we could do first is we could cut up a couple of napkins and then Mod Podge them down, and then we'll kind of go through the whole step-by-step process, if that's okay with you guys. Like I said, I'm not feeling great today. I have something wrong with one of my teeth. I noticed that when I was eating some ice cream last night, that all of my teeth started hurting, and I don't have issues with dental problems or anything, but I don't know what it was, but I don't know, my teeth started hurting. And then this morning, my front tooth, for some reason, is like up in the root, is a little painful. So I may have to go to the dentist. I'm not really looking forward to that, but such is life. What are you going to do? So let's find an image that we can cut out pretty quickly. You know what? I think I'm going to pull one of these, and we're going to cut out the tree. That'll make it easy. And then any other napkins that you guys have. And I do have a pile I'll show you my pile before we get started of napkins from a previous project and from this project. You guys remember the pine cones and pine branch napkins from a few weeks ago from my paper napkin faux postage stamp video, and I'll link that below so you can watch that too if you want. But yeah, these just really pretty Christmassy colors and patterns, and just more of the same. So we'll move these off to the side. And I was thinking I would get really fancy with this for you guys today, but like I said, I'm just not really feeling the fancy. Yes, you can quote me on that if you'd like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this napkin in half, folded, just so that we have less stuff to work with and less stuff to cut. And it was funny because I was watching a video yesterday from a lady. She's over in the UK. Let me see if I can find who she is. I did subscribe to her channel because I loved the project that she did. And it was using paper napkins, and it was a Christmas card. I believe that she made paper napkin with a paper napkin. Her channel name is Lynn's Crafty Corner, and she made the most adorable Christmas card using a paper napkin. But one thing that I noticed when she was going through, she had mentioned that if you look, you can see that on the fold of your napkin, it's transposed. So it's flipped. So you have like a mirror image of your napkin. So you have the fuller part of the bottom of the tree on each side here, and then the higher up part here. So it's just a mirrored image. The moon is on the opposite side, the stars are on the opposite side. I never paid attention to that, so that was a really neat thing that she mentioned, and I just thought, you know, I would share that with my friends here on my channel, because, you know, you never know if you're gonna use this image for something. If it's mirrored, then you're gonna have to find the mate on the other side. So if you look here, this and this are the same, this and this are the same. So if you wanted to do a cutout or something, which she did in the video that she posted, she showed how you do that. So I thought that was kind of a neat little tip. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out this square, and it's a pretty easy image to cut, and I'm going to cut it before I remove the backing because it has a little bit more stability and it'll be a little bit easier to cut. And I'm actually going to cut this piece off too, just because it's hanging here and I don't want it flopping all over the place. So I'll get rid of that. And I don't know if the companies that made the items that I'm showcasing today are still in business. This one is Braun and Company for the napkins, and they were made in Germany. So I don't know how long ago these were made. It doesn't even have a decent barcode, so I have no idea, but it was a really pretty pattern and I liked it. So I found those, and the Paper Studio does exist still, and I think you can find these in either Joann's or Hobby Lobbies. I'm not sure which one, but they do still make papers and things. And I think Maggie from Sunset Crafts and More, she actually found a package of this in the store not too long ago, so it's still out there. You can still find that. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to cut this just around the outer edge. Try to get in camera. I get so fixated on what I'm doing, I forget that you guys are watching, and I have to move everything up so you can see what I'm doing. You know, it's a work in progress, like anything that anybody tries to do. I'm by no means a great person with the camera, although I think I told you guys a long time ago I was really interested in photography and never really fully pursued it. I even bought a nice camera and everything, but that was the 80s, you know, it was a different time. It was a long time ago, a really long time ago. But anyway, enough about that. So I am left with this, which is this nice, pretty little square. And I'm gonna show you my little trick on how to remove the back. This actually might come off pretty easy, but I still wanna share the trick because the trick is extremely helpful. So what I've got here is just some double stick tape by Jot. So Jot, we have learned, is a brand of craft supplies that they sell at the Dollar Tree. I've actually acquired quite a few pieces of this Jot branded stuff from the Dollar Tree by going to the Goodwill bins, and never really paid too much attention. And it seems to be a fair quality brand. I'm not going to say it's wonderful, but it's okay. So we're gonna try this and make sure we don't mess up our tree, because I didn't even think about that before. I was like, oh, we're just gonna cut around it, keep the backing on it, and then we'll remove it after the fact. But if I remove it and the tape comes off on the thing, you know what? I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're just gonna try to do it with this, with one side. Yeah, see, it just fell right off. So we're very lucky on that one. I wasn't even thinking about that, guys. I'm sorry. My brain is somewhere else today. I'm not sure where. Maybe it's just the aftermath of all the surgery thoughts and things going on. I don't know. So anyway, we're gonna zoom in a little bit, and we're gonna get rid of this white cardstock for right. Actually, no, we're not. We're not gonna get rid of the white cardstock. We need the white cardstock. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, you know how we've Mod Podged in the past to make our faux postage stamps using paper napkins. We're gonna do the same thing here, but we're gonna do it on cardstock. We're not gonna do it on book pages because today I don't have any book pages and I would need something that's relatively thick. So we're just gonna slather some Mod Podge, Microsoft, oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on with me today, guys. It's just a day. Anyway, so we're gonna put that on there, and then we're gonna just stick this to it, and then we're gonna go over the top. And I'm sorry, I'm not in the middle. Oh my Lord. Maybe I should start this over. Nah, we'll just keep going. That's what we do as crafters. We just keep on and going. So you slather as much as you want, and it makes a really nice finish. Even though this isn't a matte Mod Podge, it's gloss luster. The napkin, for some reason, absorbs enough of it to where it's not really shiny. I went to Walmart yesterday and I had on my list to look at Mod Podge. And when I looked at the Mod Podge in Walmart, I just kept walking because it is so expensive now. A jar this size, which is 16 ounces, and I didn't even pick them up. I think that they were going for like 10 or 12, maybe even $14. No thanks, I'm good. So I thrifted this a while back at the bins, and I'm really kind of glad I did. I mean, it weighs probably about a pound or so. So that means I got it for less than $2, but $14, that's just, I don't know. I guess unless you use Mod Podge religiously and you go through it a lot and you need it for projects, I guess it's okay, but that's just too much for my blood. So you just do that, coat it, let it dry. So we're gonna set that aside. Okay, so when the pieces are dry, they're gonna look a little like this. So you just wanna cut out around the edge. I'll cut one for you, and then I have some that I already have cut. And we can actually even use this one to make as a demo. I did, so this is the wet one. This is the dry one. And I do want to show you, on the first ones that I made, I didn't back them with cardstock first. I just put them directly on the cards. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's not much luster. They're kind of flat. This one you can actually see a little bit of the gold through. But the reason why I decided I wanted to back the napkins with cardstock was because when I was Mod Podging, you can see right here, maybe. You can see right there, the napkin moved a little bit and there was no way to straighten it. So I decided that I wanted something a little cleaner, something a little straighter. So that's why I decided to use just show you one of these, the cardstock on the back, so that I could get a little more uniformity. I'm one of those people that likes even lines and things. And even though this isn't perfectly even as far as measuring on each side, it's a little bit more, a little cleaner. So that's why I did that. And also you can kind of see a difference between this one. It's a little shiny, and this one that's a little flat. Now I do like this one, but it's also a little flimsier. And yeah, so you can do it however you want. That's just kind of where I started. And yeah, we'll see where we end up. All right, so we're gonna finish cutting out this one that I had started. This one, again, we had movement of the napkin. Even though I was putting it on the cardstock, it did move a little bit. But I kind of like that. I might cut around that. It just gives it a little bit of a different feel. So, neato, huh? All right, so let's just cut. And you can use scissors. I actually had used a paper trimmer a little while ago on some of these just to get a straighter edge. But if you have a straight line, you can follow it along and usually get okay results. It just depends on how steady your hand is. Some days my hands are steady and some days they're not. And this is by no means a perfect project. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to look vintage and handmade, which it is. So just with that aspect of it alone, you know, you can be as creative as you want. So, moving right along, I'm going to pick up some gold cardstock, and I've already cut this down into strips at this width for some, and it doesn't have to be the same on everybody's. You can do it whatever way suits you the best for whatever purpose you have. I cut this at 1 and 16. No, I don't even know. Hold on. So it's 1 and 7/8 inches wide, and then I'm just going to fit it so that it looks like a border, and I'll just make a little crease, and I'll cut, eyeballing where I'd like to cut it. So I'm just going to cut it right there, and I'll try to do it as straight as I can, and if I mess it up, I'll make another one. It's that simple. So for this, we're just gonna fit that on there so that you have what looks like a nice little border. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is meant to look vintage and handmade. We don't want necessarily a manufactured look to this by any means. That's what, in my opinion, that's what crafting should be. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I am somewhat of a perfectionist, so unfortunately that gets me into trouble and takes me a little bit longer to do things because of my balanced eye syndrome. I don't know if that's a real thing. We're going to call it that. So the glue I'm using today is called Art Glitter Glue. You can find this online. I have not been able to find this in the craft stores anywhere, and every time I go I look, but for some reason they don't sell it there. But this glue dries. It dries clear, and it dries strong, so that's why I like to use it. And it does dry pretty well on this gold coated cardstock. So, it's a really good quality glue. It is a little bit more expensive than other glues, but for what you get and how much you use of it, it's worth it in my opinion. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little glue on the back of here, and I hope you guys are having a nice holiday season so far. I hope your Thanksgiving was good. I kind of skipped out on Thanksgiving this year because I wasn't feeling really well. My surgery was a week before Thanksgiving, so it was a little hard for me to get around, and I wish I could have spent it with my son and his girlfriend, but they live in a different city, and I would have had to have driven quite a ways to go and spend the holiday with them, so unfortunately I didn't get to go. But Christmas, we will work on Christmas. So I just stayed home, and my other son and I had steak and mashed potatoes instead of turkey and mashed potatoes, which was actually pretty good. So I was just not feeling it, and I just spent a quiet Thanksgiving at home. First time in years that I have not cooked Thanksgiving dinner in any facet. So it was different, but you know, you get through it. All right, so I'm just going to place this down. Just try to center it and line it up as best you can. You know, most of my crafting is through eyeballing, and sometimes it works out good and sometimes it doesn't. I'm just going to get the excess glue off of here, although it's not really going to matter or show up too much. I did notice that this gold foil cardstock does scratch pretty easily. I had had something sitting on this piece, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a nice scratch on it. I dragged it across there and it just scratched it up pretty good. So you have to be a little careful, but if you're gonna cover it with something, then it shouldn't matter. But just a little tip that it does scratch pretty easily. So here is your base, and you can go on and embellish these any way you like. I had chosen not to do a lot of embellishing on the ones that I created, just because I'm not feeling creative today. Like really, I'm not. I'm just kind of feeling weird and off. So I'm sorry about that, you guys. But you know, this is real live crafting. You know, it's not like on TV where, you know, if people aren't feeling it, they'll film another day. I got work to do. I got things I got to get done. So that's why I'm doing this today. So here's a few examples. And also, if you have any kind of rubber stamps, you could do this. You could put to and from on the back side, which I did on this one. I don't know why I poked 2 holes in here and put these eyelets in. I had originally thought that I would run some twine or some hemp through it, and I do have some here. But at this moment, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this. So, you know, you can just use your imagination. If you want to run some twine or some jute through it to make a little hanger, you certainly could. I just didn't happen to like how it looked when I did it on that one. And you could probably just do a single eyelet in the center like I did here. Now this one's a little different. What I did with this one is I took that side star edge from that napkin that we have. I'll show you. This little star edge, kind of cut that. And I glued it on to a piece of Christmas paper that I had purchased about a month ago. I think I was in Hobby Lobby and they had these little paper pads on sale. I think they were 40% off, or maybe, no, they were 50% off. And this one's called Old World Winter, and that's the pattern that I used. And you get 3 designs, 3 sheets of each design, and apparently there are 16 designs in this pack. Like I said, I got it for half price, so I paid $2.75 instead of $5.49. And that was the paper that I used behind the little star. And then this little chipboard star gives it a little bit of dimension. And that is from an ephemera pack of Tim Holtz that I just got, and I just did a haul on last week. It's actually not an ephemera pack. It is from the baseboards pack. See those little stars? And what I did was I took some walnut stain ink and I just inked it up a little bit to make it look a little rustic. And I also inked the edges of the papers. Sorry. That foil is just not allowing my camera to focus good. So I inked up around the paper and this piece here with the napkin. And then I just glued it all together and I put in a little red eyelet for Christmas. And I do have a piece of this twine. It's got it's kind of a creamy color with a gold running through it. I don't know if you can see that really well. But I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and run this through. Maybe we'll run it through. We'll try. All right, let's see here. And you can do this, any way you like. I wasn't really thinking too hard on making the little hangers for the tags, but in any case, it's pretty quick and easy. And there you go. simple as that. And then, you know, cut it off at a reasonable length. I think this at 3 inches is probably good. Like I said, I just eyeball it and move on with my life. And you could put these on gifts. You could put these on boxes, bags, around the neck of a bottle of wine or whatever. And also just, you know, you could write something on the back or you could stamp. I do have these little stamps to and from, and I've already lined them up on here. And yeah, so you just get your little felt pad. Today I have the Adirondack raised felt dye ink pad. I don't know if they still make these. I found this at the bins, of course, but it still works. It's still juicy. So let's just go ahead and ink it up and complete this card. Just to kind of show you how it will look when it's complete. Now, I don't have a preference on where to put the to and from on the back. I guess you could do it on like this, do it this way on the back side. Let's just do that. And if you line it up like this, you can kind of, well, you can't see because I'm not in camera. All right, so you can just kind of line it up like that. So I'm just gonna ink this puppy up and I will make sure that it looks the way I want. And what I did on this, if you look, I did it, this is the first and this is the second. I kind of like the second a little bit better because it's a little more muted and less deep in color. It looks a little bit more handmade and rustic. You could also use one of your Tim Holtz inks. This is a Ranger ink, and Tim Holtz inks are made by Ranger, but this one just doesn't have Tim Holtz's name on it. I guess Ranger has to do other products that don't all relate to Tim Holtz, although, you know, they could do Tim Holtz all day and it wouldn't bother me a bit. All right, so I just kind of got some of the ink off of there. All right, I'm not sure what happened there. I had technical difficulties, so we're just gonna get back to inking. So I've got my ink pad inked up and I'm just gonna, I'm just doing it towards the top here where the eyelet is, just directly on the back. And let's see here, I'm not sure what's happening with my setup, but for some reason I need to kind of move stuff a little bit, I think. There we go. I think that'll help. This mat that I have is not perfectly flat and it's not cooperating. I'm just not having anything cooperate today. But there you go. And that is, in my opinion, a complete tag. Like I said, you guys can embellish these more. I think less is more in many cases because you don't want to overpower or overdo, and these are just like simple little gift tags that you can put on pretty much anything you like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was short, and I'm going to come back a little bit later on with some more cool ideas that I've been working on. But for now, this is going to be it for today. And as always, if you like this video, please hit that like button, that thumbs up button. Yeah, thumbs up, yeah. And if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We are on a mission to grow this channel and make it a fun, positive place for everyone. So with that, again, I thank you all. My name's Michelle. This is Shell's Bits and Pieces, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.